Hi, I'm Melanie from Nova Scotia, Canada, and this is Adventures in Grocery Land, Container Gardening, the beginning. I often think about how lucky I am and how fortunate I am that I'm able to supplement my groceries with produce that I've grown myself, preserves that I've made from my own produce, and sometimes from produce that I get from elsewhere, and how helpful it would be to anybody cooking, eating, shopping, buying groceries if they were able to do the same. I've shown videos of my garden before, and it used to be very substantial, but we've moved. So this is brand new to us. This year is our very first year attempting a container gardening, so pretty much exclusively container gardening in our new location. Our new location has a lot of granite, a lot of shale. The soil is not that viable unless we are trucking in a bunch of topsoil. And so we are really hoping to have a very successful and bountiful garden, pretty much exclusively in containers. But since this is new for us, I thought I might document this journey for anybody else that's thinking of trying it. So I have no idea what we're doing. I'm hoping it's going to be successful, but I don't know if it's going to be successful. We have used some containers, a very small portion of our garden. Like maybe we had cherry tomatoes in a container as a decoration on our deck. So we have done things before. They have grown. We have been able to harvest things, but not on this scale and not exclusively. We are pretty far into the season now, so I'm grabbing some old footage. So this very first video, the beginning, I'm grabbing some older footage, I'm re-releasing it, and it's going to be exclusively about the garden and nothing about the groceries or the meals. I'm going to very soon be releasing the very first update. So these videos are going to be back to back. If this is something that you've been following, or you follow my channel now and you watch the grocery videos, yes, this is going to be repetitive footage that you have seen before. But if you're new to this, this is exciting, and this kind of begins the journey, and I'm glad I do have that footage to fall back on. And stay tuned for very, very quickly, within the next day or two, that I will release the very first update video, and you'll see it's quite surprising. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you stick with me. I hope you are curious about how this is going to work out, because I'm curious about how this is going to work out. Wish me luck. These are some veggies that needs to be planted. We are making use of this space that we have for the garden, very different from us than other years. Pretty much everything is container planting. So you see here we have Brussels sprouts, which we've never grown before. I've got 2 specialty cherry tomatoes and a yellow pear tomato. And the tomatoes are waiting for 5-gallon buckets. I've just got them in there, biding time until my buckets arrive. And then down here more, I have zucchini, squash, and a celery. These are just wonder peppers, so green peppers, and one more over there. And in this planter that we have attached to the side of the deck, there is celery. And then over here, this is a ladder planter. And I used to attempt to grow spinach and spices in it, but this year it's working really well. So this is not the great utilization, or not a space that can be utilized really well. We're right on the waterfront here. It's hilly, it's rocky, so it is the perfect spot for us to place some cucumbers. So hopefully those all trail down. I'm waiting for the 5-gallon buckets. Each of my tomatoes will go in one of those. We normally grow all of our plants from seed. We knew we wouldn't have the capacity to do that this year, so this was a 6-pack that I've had probably now for 3 weeks. I immediately took them out of the 6-pack, the little, I don't know, they're very thin plastic, very small, very easy to dry out, and put them in some bigger pots just until the 5-gallon buckets arrive. And this was another one of the yellow pear tomatoes, again just in a small pot waiting. Now these ones, so those other tomatoes, those are Roma tomatoes. Those are my preferred. I rescued this little 6-pack and it ended up having 6 in it. It ended up, no, that tag is in the wrong pot. The handsome one put that in there. That's not a yellow pear tomato. That is a beefsteak tomato. These are all beefsteak tomatoes. And I rescued a 6-pack. It actually had 7 in it. They were doing not great in the store. I brought them home right away. I put them in these smaller containers and I am hoping that those will revive, but they are also going in 5-gallon buckets. Here we have mint and chives. The chives, these are both mature. The chives I've had here, I want to say probably 4 or 5 years. And the mint is from my neighbor at my old house. Thank you, Lori, very much. It's doing wonderful. More garden bags. So the front 4 here, these are onions. So the little bulbs just come in a pack. I had no intention of planting these this year, and they were on discount at one of the, I don't know, it was probably a big box store, but on discount, I think for like $1.99. So I thought, well, we'll try them. The 2 bags with the many in them are green onions. The 2 bags on the right-hand side, those are yellow onions. They need a little bit more space. And then I have pumpkins. So I'm trying to coax these all out different sides. And we are hoping that they will grow down again. This is a really rocky, right into the water. It's not a usable space for us to sit on or enjoy, but hopefully we can make this work with some of the gardening or the garden area. We normally have a huge pepper patch. So I have the 6 peppers that came in the 6-pack that I got from the garden center, and I have 1 jalapeno. This is the other yellow pear tomato. And then up here, I got a little 6-pack. So this was one of the peppers in the 6-pack. It wasn't doing well, so I've got that separated. Hopefully we'll be able to revive it. And then these very tiny cherry tomatoes, which I immediately took out of the 6-pack cells. They're much smaller than everything else that I have. I've got more squash back here. There is pumpkins there, and I'm hoping to use those for trades. For the first time, we have planted asparagus. So this is what asparagus looks like before it even grows for a year. They're called asparagus canes, and you let them grow. First year you don't pick any. Second year you pick for like a week, and then the 3rd year hopefully you're going to get some asparagus from it. And this is an ever-bearing onion. I think they're called Egyptian walking onions, and I did buy that this year and planted it. And we're not going to harvest this at all. We are going to hope, so this will have seeds. This would focus. This will have seeds in it, fall over and reseed the area. And so we are hoping that if we leave this, that we'll be able to get lots of onions in years to come. This little area, so I planted rhubarb. We had a very mature rhubarb patch at the old house. So this was just a rhubarb pot that I bought from Canadian Tire to get us started. And everywhere you see the rocks here, there are asparagus shoots, and the rocks are there so that next spring we remember that asparagus should be coming up. not to try to plant anything there, not to try to do anything. So we've got this just kind of on the edge. We are hoping that we're going to have in the next couple of years a little asparagus patch. Now that you have seen how things got started, oh, and another thing to remark on, normally we grow all of our vegetables from seed. We start in sometimes ridiculously early January, and it's too early. Some things we do, and I think March break triggers me to get those seeds in and get things started. And this year we just knew we didn't have life in order to get that stuff done. So we made the commitment and the decision. We knew this was going to happen. We knew when we were moving that this year we would be pretty much exclusively from seedlings that we purchased. So that's something different that we don't normally do. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned really soon, like within the next day or two, for update number 1.